This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Well, today we are going to be taking a look at another Thunderworks Games masterpiece, and that is Goblin Vaults. Man, this is really good. Let's go down to the table, check it out. I'm not going to go over all the rules. We're going to go over some of this, and then we'll come back up top, and we'll talk more about it. So I'm going to do my best to just explain this, give you a brief overview of what's going on. You're going to be one of these characters, and they are going to have a symbol here, and that is the faction that you are going to be. The best way to explain it is that as this faction, for instance, say we were this faction right here, we are going to be trying to complete some of these things and building our vault. You're going to have 9 turns. You're going to turn over you're going to get 10 cards. You're going to turn over secretly 1 card. Everybody's going to put down a card and turn it over, and that's going to begin building your vault. We'll talk about the vault in a minute. Right here we have our warden, and then this is what they consider this is considered the prison block. Okay, so the best way to explain this is how you're going to score. These gears here are victory points. Okay, you're going to try to get as many gears as you can. Then in your vault, which I'll show you, you are going to try to get, you're going to build your vault, and as many cards as you have in an order, you're going to get a point for. As many of these faction cards that you have that belong to you, because if you notice there's symbols up above here, and if you are able to capture one and put it into your vault that has your particular symbol in there, like if you laid this down right here and you were able to capture that, well, guess what? Then you will get that symbol and you will total up the number of those at the end of the point. Then you have these cards here. Okay, as you can see, this is a particular symbol that is on a card, and you are going to try to do whatever and build your vault a certain way with those cards. The same thing with this, and the same thing with this. And as you're trying to reach these different objectives, like for instance, you're going to get a certain number of gears that in your vault, in your chamber, that you have in a certain sequential order. That'll give you 4 gears, or this one, if you have 3 cards, it'll be 9 gears. Okay, and we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get going. What you're going to do is on your turn, you are going to play a card. You are going to try to win that particular area. For instance, I see this too. I really want this, because what's going to happen is if you win this card, okay, it's going to go into your vault. Okay, we'll talk more about that. But what's going to happen is you're going to play your card and then you're going to put your symbol on there. Okay, right now I'm winning. Okay, because 5 beats 2. Right? Seems pretty simple. But somebody can come along and play a higher card. Okay, and say, no, I want that. Okay, so what's going to happen is that this card will stay here. This card of that person will go back into that person's vault, and they're going to have to place it. Maybe they didn't want this card, okay, or maybe they planned to have this card and hope that somebody would beat them for it so they can put it into their vault. It's very thoughtful on how you're going to do it. The winner gets this card, and then this card takes its place. Now if you notice, these two have the same symbol. Okay, so for instance, if this was the same type of thing, okay, and a person went and played a totally different type of card, let's say they played a 9 here, okay, and they said, yeah, nobody's going to beat me. 9 is the highest card there. Nobody's going to beat me. But that person put down a card of 5, okay, but matched the same as the warden. Guess what? That person would win at the end of the thing. If no cards are claimed, or no areas are claimed at the end of the thing, then a gear is going to be pushed on it. Okay, then the first player, okay, after that there's the vault phase. We'll talk about the vault phase last. Okay, but then after the vault phase there will be a warden phase, because we're kind of talking about the vault phase with the bidding, but I want to show you what the vault looks like at the end of this, okay? And that way I can show you how scoring is done. Now, the first player can do a thing during the warn phase. They can change out this card. They can take any one of these cards, even if this has a gear on it. They can move that and then bring this down here. Now that changed that warden's symbol for the next turn. And then the next player will move along, okay? Because it constantly goes around clockwise. All right, so there are all kinds of different ways that you can play different cards, or you may just be by yourself right here and go, well, I just want that one, and that person could be all by themselves and they automatically win. Well, I got that card, cool. They were too busy fighting over that one, and then they're going to put that into their vault. Let's show you how the vault works, so you get an idea of how they're going. Now these are the cards that are going to be in front of you, and this is after 9 turns. You start off with 1 card and you're continually adding cards, but I wanted to show you how you're going to do this, okay? You could never, okay, take a card and, for instance, and say, well, I'm going to put this card here in the 3rd slot, and then that'll leave the 2nd slot open. Whenever you play a card, it has to be in the next slot. Okay, so if we played this card, well, I'm going to put this right here. That's going to work for me, okay? Now, scoring, you're going to take a look at certain things, and like for collection here, score each chamber. Now, these are chambers, okay? And you only have 4 chambers. You cannot just say, have just like maybe if you had 2 chambers here and say, well, I'm going to put this in the 3rd chamber, but on the 3rd slot. No, it has to be in the 1st slot. I just want to make sure that we understand that. You're going to be trying to either match symbols, you're going to be trying to get things in sequential order, which would help. Like for instance, with this one here, it says score chamber with at least 2 cards of the same value. So do we have any of the same value? No. So we would not get anything there. On the other side of this, there's clustered, and they're 2-sided. You could play them either way, 6, 7, 8, or no matter how you do it, 7, 8. Well, I got one here that has 2, 3, but that's not going to do me any good. Well, I'm just going to do the best I can. Maybe I can find a 1 in when they are playing during the vault phase. That would help me in those coins. Who knows? And if you're able to find a 1 there, then what you would do is you would place it over here, and then you would have that, and you would score the 9 victory points. Now, this one's a little different because it goes by that faction, okay? And there are different faction cards. They suggest that you start, if you were playing 2-player, that you are going to have 4 factions, and as you can see, there's the crowns, the skulls, the books, and the coins, and there's more. There's 6, and you could play up to 5 players with this, and that's where it really gets really deep. And you could play solo, but we're not going to cover that here. Now, for this one here, if you have 2 cards with that symbol in the chamber, you're going to get 5 of those points. Oh, well, we got that. That's awesome. So we would get, at the end of scoring, we would get 5 of these gears. That's going to count. That's going to help us, okay? And we're going to put that right into our thing here, okay? So we would get 5 points there. Depending on how many gears we had to begin with, okay? At the end of the game, we would put those there, and then over here is sequential order. Now, as you can see, there's a symbol here. This means 1st card, 2nd card, 3rd card. So you would get 1 point in the 1st slot. You would get 2 points for the 2nd slot. So you would have 1, 3, and then 3 points. Okay, which would give you up to 6. So now you have 6 points total here for all that, because you got 1, 2, and 3 in a row. And you would go through, even if you didn't have somebody in the row here, well, I got that one there, so I would get 1 point, but no, that's not going to do any good. Or if it was a little reversed here, where you had this card here like this, okay, and that was well, you would get the 1 point, the 2 point, but even if you had a card something like this, just to show you. Oops, I almost messed that up there. Okay, even though that wouldn't score, you would still score the 2 points because that is in the second slot there. Okay, you only go 3. You're only going to have 10 cards, and when you after the 10th card is after the 9th round, and the 10th card is played, the game will stop, and you're going to total everything up. So, trying to figure out how you're going to do these cards and how you're going to build this vault is part of the strategy, as well as going up top and trying to decide how you're going to move the warden card, how you're going to bid, what cards you're going to bid on, and what you want, and how you're going to win. And then, of course, like I said, if you are playing in a certain thing, particularly this guy here, you would get 1 point there for that symbol. Okay, so all these things kind of matter and add up, and that's how you're going to build this area, and you're going to think through. There are a ton of different cards and different variations that you're going to have to do this. This really makes you think, and the quality and the beauty and how it sucks you in is just amazing, because that's what Thunderworks Games does, and really brings it home and does a great job at it. Let's go up top and get my final thoughts. I didn't explain everything, but I think you have a good idea of what's going on here. And this is a game I highly suggest, and I'm going to tell you more about it up top. This company just kills it, and I don't know why I haven't featured this company more. Shame on me. I've got to be the biggest idiot on the planet. I played Role Player, loved the game, okay? I got Role Player Adventures that's sitting there waiting to go. And everything that I've touched from them, the art is ridiculous. The gameplay is unbelievable. Trick-taking, adventure type of really deep strategy. You've got to try to make decisions, and they're not always the right decisions. It's just one of those things that just really stands out, and I think is absolutely glorious. And I'm telling you right now, go get this. This is fun by yourself, because it has solo rules, which I didn't explain. 2-player, 3-player, 4-player, you can do just about anything with this, and it is glorious. Check it out. Go to Thunderworks Games. You can pick it up there, or you can get it at Miniature Market. Our good friends there. Make sure that you pick this up. This is a great game that really you will enjoy a lot. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.